Hey everybody, Mark Edward Lewis here from CinemaSound.com. We're going to be doing a little mixing using the Cinema Sound Foley Library. We're here in Logic Pro, where we've done some tracks, and you can see how we've assembled them in the other videos that are here in these tutorials. So let's just take a look here. I'm going to open up the Cinema Sound Foley Library. This one is the Colton Bottoms. We're going to bring this off the screen just so we have some more real estate. You can see this little bit of this that we're going to mix together here. Let's check this out.
I need exfiltration right away.
Negative, Al. Lose your tail. Then head to the LC.
What if I can't?
It's a long walk.
So that's where the dialogue is, and normally we don't have the music in, but you know, it's fun to have it in for now just because it's a little more interesting. Normally music comes in last. It's the last element. We put the dialogue in, then the ambiences, then the Foley, then the sound effects. So Foley coming in last is a little bit wonky, but we'll have fun with it anyway. All right, so we're going to do the footsteps first. We're going to turn off the clothing tracks momentarily and the gun Foley. We're just going to start with Colton here. And the EQ we've already done in the previous video. We've got some reverb here. We're in touch automation, so let's just see where we like this to live volume wise. Here's our gun cock. So it's a nice sound, but it's obviously 8 million times too loud. So we're going to start this down here at about minus 30 and see how it feels. That's not too bad, actually. Now that we're in touch, we've created a little bit of an automation line here. You can see if I go to volume, there it is. I made a little move, so it got stored, and that's nice. This will be a nice place to start. Then we're going to do the same thing with Rivka's footsteps. We'll see where they land here. Obviously, they're way too loud. We'll do the same. Start them down here. That's not too bad, actually. It's a good place to start. All right, so as far as starting places go, that's okay. Let's see if we can add the clothing. Now, the clothing gets a little bit more difficult. We don't have any clothing for Colton here. It's just pretty much his footsteps, with the exception of his pant legs. So let's add those pant legs in. See how they feel here. We'll go they're pretty low already. Let's see. Obviously, that's pretty loud. Now, the fader's down here pretty far as it is, and if I were to pull it down more, it becomes untenable. So what I want to do here in Kontakt is take this volume here, and this is the volume for this instantiation of the clothes of the Cinema Sound Foley Library. I'm going to bring this down about 15 decibels or so, and now I can bring this fader up, and it gives me a little room to be able to do a little automation. So it's a little uneven, and we could sit here and fool around with the volumes, but probably one of the best things to do is just change the notes. Let's see how that goes. And let's make sure the timing's right. That's pretty good. This one's just a little bit late. Now we'll bring down the volume altogether. Maybe bring it up just a little bit more. And it's super subtle, but Foley is super subtle. And it adds just that realism to make it feel like it's normal. All right, now that we have Colton's legs and footsteps in and Becky's footsteps in, let's add her clothing. We'll just add her bottoms because that'll be the easiest one. The same thing, legs moving together. We're going to mute Colton altogether here and turn Becky. Yeah, we're good. Obviously way too loud. And we don't mind this being brighter because everything here with her is much brighter in this particular shot because we're much closer. But it might just be a little too bright. So we're going to bring over our friend Mr. Foley Library, make sure there's nothing happening here. Cut off. We'll just bring this down just a bit. And what I'm doing, just so you can hear it, I'll solo the track. Yeah, just on the bandpass filter, and that's this right here. Just kind of bringing the cutoff down just a little bit more. It gives it a little more realism here instead of being so bright. And now we can just bring it all down. And that last bit we should help out. There we go. Beautiful. And now we'll bring in her top. This might be also too bright, but we'll see how it goes. Yeah, it completely is way too bright. As much as I love bright Foley, it's just going to be a little too bright. Let's make sure we don't have any special automation for the cutoff in here. Nope, we'll go to the bandpass and bring this down a little bit. A little bit more. Actually, we'll use the OB bandpass a little bit wider, a little nicer to listen to. Beautiful. All right, and now we'll just bring the whole thing down with our automation. Beautiful. Last thing is her gun Foley, which we shouldn't have to deal with EQ on. It should just need to be put in a volume place that makes sense. Yeah, a little too loud. Beautiful, nice and subtle. So now if we go to the mix page, because I've assigned all of the Foley to buses, it's all here on a bus, I can, along with the reverb, the sound effects, the dialogue music, I can do easy bus alterations by putting this into Touch just like I did. But now it's all of the, oops, that was ambiances. Let's not do ambiances. Let's do Foley. Now all of the Foley is, I can push up and down if I want. Bring it up a little bit. Just up a little bit, just a decibel. Now notice how that feels versus if I pull it down a decibel. Two decibels really makes a difference in Foley. You get from being very connected to the actors versus being connected to the ambience and the music. So when you have those kinds of all the Foley based on one bus, you really get the opportunity to be able to check where you want that connection with the actor, because that's really what Foley does. Connects the audience with the actor and creates that realism. Hopefully you've been enjoying this, your copy of the Cinema Sound Foley Library, and there's lots more tutorials here. We'll see you then.